All right, let's dig into part 3 of the right quality. This part we're going to talk about the cost factors of poor quality, as well as quality in the purchasing process. How does quality and purchasing go together? We talked about the strategic importance, but there's more. Believe me, there's more. Let's first talk about quality, performance, and cost. So there's different kind of costs we're going to talk about here in the next slide as well, but this is a nice graphic representation of how the cost of quality, the level of performance of quality, 100% performance, meaning no quality defects, and the sliding scale in between, how that impacts your total cost to your business. So let's start with the bluish line, the one that says internal and external failure cost. Internal costs external failure costs we're going to cover in the next slide, but let's just say a short version of this is costs associated with discovering the defect inside your own four walls of your company or your customer discovering them. Those are the external costs. As you approach 100% conformance to a standard, meaning 100% quality conformance, meaning zero defects, your cost of failures internally and externally go down significantly. That's why that line slopes down. However, to get to that level, you're going to have to do something differently in your business. You're going to have to prevent them from happening in the first place. So you're going to have prevention and appraisal costs increase as you head towards 100% quality conformance. So somewhere in the middle there, where those two meet, is that optimal level, that break-even point of prevention costs and appraisal costs and the costs associated with having defects. So oftentimes you'll see companies say, they want zero defects or they want 95% quality conformance. The reason is this slide right here. That incremental gain of the quality conformance between around 90 and 100% quality conformance and the amount of cost that goes into that little bit of gain can be dissuading companies from going towards 100% quality performance. So let's talk about these costs in bigger detail here. There are costs that are incurred that keep a product from becoming defective. This is the prevention side. So when we have methods and systems like total quality management, we're going to put processes in place to prevent bad things from happening. That can be putting appraisal steps in place. So doing inspection, scrapping and reworking whenever possible. Now, appraisal just identifies the issue, which is good, but it doesn't prevent it from happening. Prevention, on the other hand, is putting processes in place that you cannot go wrong. There's terms like the Japanese term poke-yoke. Just a silly little term. We don't speak Japanese, but what it means is fail-safe. It is preventing you from overfilling, preventing you from doing the wrong thing. Other people might call it idiot proofing, but that's a little less PC. Either way, you're preventing the issues from happening. They have cross-functional design and testing. I like to be part of those groups to see if I can break it. If you can break it, then your prevention techniques need to improve. And then read across methods. So you'll have other suppliers, customers, different departments, different functions try and design review to prevent the issue from happening in the first place. Other costs that happen despite your best efforts of appraisal and prevention, should issues take place, you have external costs and internal costs. External costs are way more expensive than internal costs. Way more. On many levels. So the product has escaped your facility and it has been shipped to the customer, and they've discovered there's a quality issue. It doesn't fit the conformance of the standard or fitness for use, one of the two. Then you have to work through warranty claims and having to deal with returns, and then at your cost or discounted cost, replace the product back to the customer. It's a waste of time and money. But the other thing is reputation. It's been said that it takes 7 or 8 people to give a good comment to override one bad comment or reputation damaging situation. So external costs can cost you more than just the hard dollars. It can cost you future business as well. Internal costs are the cost of rework and scrap having to throw away material that you could have otherwise used in products you could sell. And rework is spending the extra time to fixing the product in the first place. And so you're dealing with labor and parts. So those are mainly the costs we're talking about, external and internal. Now, we understand the costs now. There's prevent, and then the other side, if we can't prevent it, what their costs are coming from. Things we need to do to prevent or minimize those costs as much as possible. We'll try to do things like quality planning. So that's that prevention side. We're trying to do some product definition that match the customer's expectations a little more tightly. We have product design practices that involve the supplier and customer and prevent the issues with the product from being manufactured incorrectly in manufacturing. And we look at consumption of the actual raw material. We have better ways of utilizing the raw material. We can improve the practices. Quality control, on the other hand, is, we planned in the quality. Now we got to make sure that we're achieving that level that we planned. That's through doing acceptance sampling, like you check the first 10 in a run of 100. You look at whether or not a process is statistically able to remain in control. Can it even do the job you've asked it to do repeatedly? Using tools like control charts, like we spoke about before. Is it staying within the navigational buoys of what success looks like? Through the planning and the control of quality, and then doing the root cause analysis of variation that causes defects, is through there that there's breakthrough in process improvements and quality performance. It's all good. Okay, we understand there's cost factors to it. Now, if it's costing us money as far as internal and external costs, it's going to cost our suppliers money too if they're also providing poor quality product to us. So that's where quality and purchasing meet. We are paying for a level of quality from our suppliers when we purchase a product. You may have heard the saying, it's very common, you pay for it now or you pay for it later. It's often used for things like there's no pain, there's no gain, like in working out or improving one's health. You say you either take the lazy path now and make it easy, or you work hard now because you don't want to have to pay for the poor health consequences later. Same thing in purchasing. Some people translate this to, well, if you get a cheap product and it's cheap in price, then you're going to pay for it on the quality and later. That's not always true, because it depends on what level of quality is acceptable to you. But the concept is out there because we want to understand that quality is a cost associated to the price that we pay from our suppliers. So our suppliers are grappling the same issues of internal cost of quality and external cost of quality. They don't want us to have to return and deal with warranties and so on with them. So it's important as a purchasing agent to understand these aspects of quality and how it can impact price, so that we can do some better analysis on what we're actually paying for. That said, quality and purchasing have to work together to define what the ideal level of quality is for products and services being purchased. So the purchasing agents don't define the quality standards. The quality team, with the influence of engineering or other aspects of the business, help define what the quality standards are. Then you need to be able to measure your supplier's adherence to those quality standards. Now, they need to be able to have that timely feedback to be able to improve quality. And it is the very foundation of that information that helps purchasing agents decide whether to continue to work with the supplier to reduce the quality defects and improve their processes and practices and material utilization and whatever the case may be, or it may be a deciding factor of no longer doing business with that supplier. Because the cost of poor quality of bringing in poor products from our suppliers and dealing with them in our operating system as poor quality products, we're wasting time and money. So it can dramatically impact our total cost of producing a product, but also our time in sourcing and developing our suppliers. So it's really important as we look at the right source later on this semester that some sort of measure of quality conformance to a standard is measured and is a factor in the sourcing decision. So that's where quality and purchasing meet, where the rubber meets the road, so to speak, in purchasing in the context of quality, in purchasing the right level of quality of a product. So let's make sure we covered this today. We have the understanding the cost factors. We got the prevention and appraisal, and then you got the internal and the external. If first you can't fix it and prevent it from happening, you're going to encounter those internal and external costs. Then we talked about how quality and the purchasing process are in alignment, and how the cost of poor quality can impact price, but as well as the cost of great quality may impact price. You may be asking for more quality than you need, and it's impacting your price, unfortunately. So we'll talk about that also in pricing later on, but this is a good way to start. Thank you. If you have any questions, if you have any comments, or you want to explore these concepts further, please feel free to contact me. Also, you will need to participate in the discussion forums. I look forward to your feedback there. Look forward to reading your activities for this week. If you have any questions, you know where to find me. Have a great day.